Luhan.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I've totally seen this.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's actually in the army though, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a psyops.
We think.
They specifically bring in these young hot girls to convince men to go die.
Yep.
Like, dude, you're not going
classic.
anywhere near this person. This
classic.
person is not real. Like, this is
This is just pinup.
We'll get
pinups.
her in one of those exosuits.
Yeah, this is just pinup's version.
Her
of like
and Joe
3.0,
Biden, and
4.0.
suddenly recruitment
I
spikes.
bet
Women don't have to register for selective service.
No, they don't.
Only if you're a man who's dressed like a woman, then you have to register for selective
Yeah,
service.
they haven't gotten around that
Yeah.
loophole yet, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, because there was a report last year that the Biden administration was saying that trans women do have to register for selective service.
So, all you draft dodgers that are buying skirts right now, don't worry, it's not going to work.
Yeah, just get on the SSRIs instead.
I don't know if that is 100% accurate, but still at the same time, it doesn't really matter because we have to talk about the military's thirst trap issue. Now, guys, I'm sure that a lot of you have already heard about the TikTok influencers that try to recruit young males to go into service. And of course, you're seeing some photos now of one in particular. Don't worry, we will bring this person up and exactly what the military is doing and why it is that it more than likely will still fail, especially given our current situation in the world. And of course, if you're subscribed to the Claymore channel, I've released a couple of videos over there this past week, or at least this week so far, talking about Gen Z, the military, and the possibility of a draft. And of course, I've even released a video on this channel talking about the draft as well. Now, this video, and there will be a follow-up video, and maybe one more on Saturday. I'm going to try to get one more that's going to come out this week, basically, essentially just centering around the current situation with the military. And then, of course, in about a couple of weeks after that, I'm going to go ahead and start doing what it is that I planned on originally doing for this channel, which was overall projects, and then eventually military movie reviews and transitioning into history. But I'll have more updates on that at the end of the video. But in the meantime, I'm going to be leaving these two videos right here in the description box and, of course, in the comments section for you guys to check out, because some of these videos are going to be moved over to the Claymore channel going into next year. The reason why is because it's going to become more of an overall video essay project channel where we're practically going to be talking about society itself. And of course, the military is going to be very, very much involved because we have to look at exactly what it is that is going on there. And I've decided to move that mostly because if I move those videos over there, it won't be as jumbled. But still, though, at the same time, let's go ahead and get back to the topic. So right now, the military is going through a recruitment shortage. We recently had a report come out that 70% of the military was overweight. There is something I do want to address, a bit of an addendum. I kind of gave a bit of an addendum in the last video that I released on this. BMI really doesn't mean as much when you actually think about it, because you could be 6'1", like one of my subscribers said, 215 pounds. Matter of fact, it's really screwed up because I actually have two personal experiences with two separate individuals that I serve with that were pretty big, pretty bulky, but still ran very, very high PFTs. It's rare, but it does in fact happen. But as I said in the previous video, we typically like to have guys be a little bit leaner, a little bit smaller. But then again, though, I was 5'10" when I was in, and I was not exactly the biggest guy in the world, but yet I could not run a 3-mile PFT to save my life. I was in the back tier. The best I ever ran was a 22. And of course, there are guys out there who are much, much bigger who can actually run 3 miles in less than 20 minutes. That does happen, but still, we still prefer to keep our individuals a little bit lighter, but still BMI is not as big of a factor. Of course, a lot of guys like lift weights and put on muscle and whatnot, so it's not as big of a deal, but still 70% is still a bit of a concern for exactly what the military would prefer, of course, in combat. But back on topic. So the military has, for the most part, got these people out here. This particular person, by the way, has even got photos with Eric and Don Jr. Trump. You got to wonder exactly when this entire thirst trap thing happened. You got to wonder if maybe it occurred. I would say it occurred when social media itself became like the big thing for the military, when the military started to get more involved in social media, which I think is an absolute joke, because I think social media at the end of the day is just going to get more and more men in trouble and possibly get them booted out of the military. And possibly, as we have seen recently with what's going on in Israel and Gaza, with a bunch of idiot influencers who are just now realizing that the Palestinians like to use their children and women as human shields. Yeah, it's a good way to get people killed. That's all I'm going to say about that. But the thirst trap problem is a real problem for a multitude of reasons. Number one, the thirst trap issue does not exactly extend, or does not exactly have to do with said individuals like the photos I showed you with the girls. It also has to do with these videos here that, of course, I still kept. And, of course, I will not be using them anymore after this because it's designed to recruit a certain group of people that live a certain lifestyle that if they actually got into the military would actually harm the military, especially its overall morale. I'll explain that a little bit more after this clip here, which, of course, is still recycled. But, of course, after today, I will not be using these clips anymore. Let's go ahead and roll this one.
Already gone through basic and stuff. They'll string you
right.
along. That's how military
If
recruitment
you get
works.
Luhan to do it, enlistment will just be 100%.
That's true.
Well,
Seen
and
Luhan, biggest psyop ever. She's awesome.
who?
Luhan, the really hot girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Ash's personal
He knew
hero.
when she
Yes.
said that.
But she was like posting. She was like a psyops officer.
She's
or
doing a
something.
great job. She makes me want to enlist, to be honest.
Oh. I don't know if I'm thinking of the same person, but there was like this woman who was saying she was in the military and kept posting all these things about why people should join or whatever.
Have you seen Luhan? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know what Luhan is.
All you have to do is look up Luhan. She's
I-
all over
it-
TikTok. She's got like 1 million on TikTok.
That I might be
She's the
familiar
best
with it. How do you spell
psyop
it?
ever. Lujan. Luhan.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I've totally seen this.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's actually in the army though, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a psyops.
We think.
They specifically bring in these young hot girls to convince men to go die.
Yep.
Like, dude, you're not going
classic.
anywhere near this person. This person is not real. Like, this is
This is just pinup.
We'll get
pinups.
her in one of those exosuits.
Yeah, this is just pinup's version.
Her
of like
and Joe
3.0 or
Biden, and
4.0.
suddenly recruitment
I
spikes.
bet she's convinced a bunch of really dumb young guys to sign up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And she's massive on TikTok too. She's got like 1 million on TikTok.
Yep.
There's one that I saw of like not her, but two other like good-looking girls being like, the best part of being in the army is being a barracks bunny, and then this guy like cuts in and is like,
Wow.
no, that's not true. That's all fake.
wow.
Yep.
Like,
That's what she posted, which basically is like, she will have sex with you.
Yeah.
If you, it's like the old beer commercials.
Yep.
If you drink our beer, hot women will have sex with you. That's a Family Guy joke, by the way. I'm stealing it. But yeah. Yep.
but
There you
this is
go.
what they're doing subtly.
Subtly. She got 1 million followers.
But I'm saying like the ones that are saying like paid for by the U.S. Army are the ones that are much more about like wokeism. Like,
Is she criticizing CNN?
I couldn't tell with
Yeah,
that
she's
with that one
a
right there.
bit conservative. I think she did a few videos with like Donut Operator and the Black Rifle guys.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
But I mean, like, the assumption is her job in the army is to post these videos to convince people to enlist.
Yeah.
It's like a thirst trap for frontline troops, which is incredible.
Man, imagine being dumb cannon fodder for these sick, corrupt individuals.
Yeah.
Man. Like I
Natural
said,
selection, I guess. Filter them out, huh? Is that what it is?
it could be, man. If I get one of those suits, I'm there. Like I said, they can crumb.
Now, me personally, I think if you fell for any one of these potential thirst traps, then quite frankly, you probably don't need to be in the military because it was probably not really your the life that you were destined for. Truth be told is the vast majority of those who join the military, and I know this because obviously as a veteran myself, most of us come from working class families. And sadly, if there was in fact ever a draft, it would more than likely be focused on working class families, but still at the same time. And I know I'm saying still at the same time a lot because it's kind of a habit of mine. At least I'm not saying actually. The thing is this right here, those people that were just mentioned in that very first clip, they're not exactly what we call above the fray. Seriously, they're not above the fray. And the only reason why I'm saying it like this is because on this particular channel here, it's not monetized yet. So I can kind of get away with saying transes without actually having to how do I say, without actually having to code that language. Let's just be honest. These right here are guys who are just simply trying to use the whole transes thing. So that way they don't have to do anything. They think that they're shielded, that they can just now claim that they're suddenly a lady, that they don't have to actually go. That's not the case. When you actually get to the actual official recruiting and whatnot, they're going to grab you regardless. You could try to Section 8 yourself like Corporal Klinger in MASH, but then again, though, and I know I'm saying that again a lot, it's not really truly going to work, and if anything, it's probably going to clog up the overall system. If they need men, they'll go get it. Now, granted, the vast majority of the military would still be volunteer, and I don't think drafting from this particular pool of individuals is a good idea. Go back to what I said before. You guys saw the two videos that I put in this video. Of course, I put them in the B-roll footage. That is designed to cater to a certain audience. It's designed to cater to a certain group of people to try to get them to join the military. Hey, look, I can live this lifestyle and still be in the military. It's not that appealing because the vast majority of left wingers don't exactly, how do I say, want to join the military anyways. Those who have that ideology would burn down their own cities before they burn down somebody else's. If you really and truly want to fix this problem, don't use the thirst trap issue. If you're going to use if you're going to use social media, then maybe what you should do instead is just advertise and actually put together actual honest to God good commercials. The whole Emma Malone Lord thing was an absolute disaster for the U.S. Army because it made the U.S. Army look like an absolute joke, and it also told the American people that we're fighting for the wrong things. First of all, when I hear somebody scream about gay rights, and I know I could get in trouble for saying this right here, I kind of look at them and say, you've already got the right to do pretty much whatever you want. I mean, we're being forced to see this right now. You flaunt it every time you turn around. It's just a fact. It's the way things are. But then again, though, here we are. We're at this situation, and we're trying to fix this problem, and we're trying to get to where they're not exactly corrupting kids and stuff like that. But like I said, here we are. Right now, there's a whole group of people who think it's actually smart to pander to a bunch of people who really and truly would never fight for this nation to begin with. And if they did serve, they would only be there for a check, 3 square meals a day that would be given to them on behalf of the taxpayer. And at the end of the day, would just ruin morale and embarrass the hell out of us. Before we go any further, I'm going to play this 2-minute segment one more time. Of course, it's not the same one, but when I say one more time, it's because I've used it twice this week already. And there's one part that I did not fully address, and it was the very, very last section that Scott Presler mentions. But I'm going to play it all the way through so that way you guys can kind of see exactly where we're going at with this.
I mean, they're going to have to do something soon, right? There's a report out today that one of the major reasons people can't enlist is because obesity is so high. I mean,
That's what they say.
we're impending on war faster than we can solve the problems that we have created that make it difficult for people to join the military. And by that I mean they don't qualify to join the military. And other than lowering the standards, which is not really good for a military fighting population, I'm not sure how we get past this issue. The fact of the matter is, and I'm a broken record here. I know anyone who's heard me on the show before has heard me say this, but the statistics bear out that there's a very slim majority of people, or slim margin of people, that can make the standards to enlist in the military, and of those people, very few of them are willing to do it. So, great for her that she has 1 million TikTok followers. On the other hand, she doesn't have a 100% success rate because we are not converting that many people into military recruitment.
True.
Yeah, it's down.
That's true. Yeah, I think it's the lowest. They've had like the lowest recruitment,
Lowest ever.
like 14 years or something.
Almost
I thought it was
every
ever.
branch, very few branches are making their
Is it
recruitment goals.
thought
This
so.
is something that's been happening consistently for the past at least 3 years, probably longer. And in fact, military enlistment has been down for a long time. I mean, to be fair, I've mentioned this before, my brother was in the Marine Corps. He deployed to Afghanistan. The thing is, like, I don't even remember how old he was. He was very young when we got involved in that. There were people who went after him who were not alive when everything broke out in the Middle East. This is going to be the reality for Gen Z. They're going to be this generation that is saying, are we about to enter a war that we will be in endlessly on multiple fronts? And the messaging around it will always be ambiguous. It'll be unclear what our actual goals are. And I think that's definitely the case now that we have war in Ukraine, we have conflict in Israel, and then presumably we're going to have something happen in Taiwan. I mean, do you want to be deployed? Do you want to go into active conflict like this?
Well, and
Probably
your
not.
body will not be your choice because they have forced vaccinations in the military. So
It will not be your choice. As a matter of fact, the minute that you arrive at Parris Island, South Carolina, or possibly one of the U.S. Army centers in Georgia, Virginia, or wherever, because I think the Army does their boot camps at different select bases. I know that when I was in the Marines, I had to go do my tank school training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. This is a long time ago. It's back in 2004 before they moved the USA Armor and Ordnance Center. The U.S. Army boot camp was actually going on over there. I think it depends on MLS. If you're in the Army, please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, not maliciously or anything. Just a simple question, because I'm doing this video completely off the cuff, like most of the time. Of course, it changes next year. But the thing is this right here, and I got to say this. The minute you go in, you're going to get poked with anything and everything. I mean, they're just going to stick them right up in you, both arms. You're probably going to get, I don't know, I think when I went back in 2003, I want to say it was like 12 injections. So I can't remember the exact number. I definitely remember the butt shot because they stick that one in you and you've got to do the whole rocking on the ground thing. And of course, they gave us a video on how to detect testicular cancer after that one, which made me think that maybe there could be something going on now looking back on it, something to look out for in the future. But still, at the exact same time, the military has got a thirst trap issue. And here's the rest of the thirst trap issue. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but there's a lot of veteran pages out here on YouTube. I don't sit here and critique them all day. I even watch some of them, and I've watched a lot of content where a lot of guys have kind of been exposed. I did a video a while back on Tim Kennedy. I plan on factoring that into the veteran stories pages on this channel. I did a video on Dakota Meyer, and I'm not saying this right to insult Dakota Meyer at all. I respect the hell out of his military record, but a lot of the things that he has said recently over the past couple of years really irked me, because it's almost like he's let's say he doesn't like people who actually practice firearms, actually practice going out shooting, and of course picking up their Second Amendment rights. It's almost as if to say maybe it's just the way he comes off, but he just rubs people the wrong way. Tim Kennedy, come to find out, as much as he talks about guns and whatnot, you find out that deep down inside he's actually anti-Second Amendment. And a lot of other veteran pages out there that aren't exactly what they profess themselves to be. A great example would be Black Rifle Coffee. I'm going to point you guys over to the Preppers Bunkers Outdoors for those type of videos there, because he has all the receipts and all the stories, and they're actually very good. But I did a few videos on BRCC back in 2021, 2020, and even 2022, especially when it came to the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing and the New York Times interview. You come to find out these people were not as pro-2A as they said they were. These same people, by the way, are also the components of the Buddy Brovet thing, meaning that they try to portray the military as this great big giant fraternity where everybody just gets drunk and everybody just parties and whatnot, when that is really and truly not the case. I think that you could get by and people would actually prefer to join it if they did not think that the military was a joke. You put the girl up there who has got the, how do I say this? She's got the... you guys have seen it already, which she was actually in the Army. As a matter of fact, that girl's actually enlisted as a PSYOPs officer, and you find out that, hey, there are a lot of people who are falling for a PSYOP. Yeah, pretty girl, beautiful girl, popular, got a lot of TikTok followers. She's probably actually married in real life. You just don't know it. She basically just poses as an OnlyFans, and of course, you see a lot of other people. And by the way, this is not the only girl who does this. If you go on Instagram, you'll find a lot of these girls walking around in G-strings and thongs and lingerie and crap, all have a military background. They have OnlyFans pages and stuff, and of course, they get likes on Instagram. There's some out there. I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of them are out there. This is a big part of the whole thirst trap issue, and the thirst trap issue is probably going to attract the wrong type of people to the military. So, no, I don't think you have to do this. You're giving people the wrong impression when they actually get in. I mean, most people already know it's a great, big, giant game, but if they think it's a party, when in reality it's not supposed to be a party, they're probably not going to want to actually stay in, nor they're actually going to be very enthusiastic about their jobs. Now, nobody's enthusiastic about their job when they're in the military, but when you add on more and more problems to go on top of this, or more and more unexpectations to go on top of what's already happening, after a while, people just are going to want to join. And, of course, you've got the VA, which is already screwed up. It's been screwed up for a while. They've made attempts to try to fix it, but nothing really and truly works. After a while, people are just not going to want to join. I think that the United States military just simply put together a good old-fashioned professional front that focused for the most part on masculinity and strength, people would join, and the right kind of people would join, and the right kind of people would actually serve this nation. I remember back when I joined in 2003, the United States Marine Corps was throwing a lot of ads out there. The ad that got me was not the one where the guy pulls out the sword and he slays the dragon. It was the one where you see the guys jumping over the wall in slow motion. I'll try to actually slide that one in, but that's actually the ad that got me. Now, while that ad may be a little bit dramatic with the music, which is not really that dramatic when you think about it, it's kind of slow. But when you actually think about it, that ad was much, much more masculine than a lot of the stuff that they're actually putting out. The United States Marine Corps typically tends to do this. They typically tend to be better than this, whereas the U.S. Army typically tends to go with the whole Emma Malone Lord crap that they did already, and as a result of this, people already think it's a joke because people are asking the question, what are we actually fighting for? Are we fighting for America, or are we just fighting for ideals that don't match our actual belief systems? This is one of the main reasons why it is the U.S. military needs to fix its overall thirst trap issue, because the thirst trap at the end of the day is nothing more than a great big giant gimmick. It's people that are going out there and basically giving a false portrayal of the military, and as a result of this, they get the wrong idea, and when they get in, they realize that they're in much, much worse condition than they would have been before. Like I said, we all know it's a game. We all know that boot camp is designed to be an actual game. We all know that the military itself is designed to be somewhat of a mental game itself. But still, at the same time, you need to be serious about things. And if you're not serious about things, others will not take you serious. They'll think it's just one great big giant party. And of course, people find out the reality of it is not exactly a party. These girls, as much as the screwing around may occur in the military, these types of girls, they are not sleeping with PFCs, privates, lance corporals, or PSCs in the Army or U.S. Army specialists. They're not screwing around with them at the rate you might think that they are. I mean, it sounds good on paper when you initially think about it, but at the end of the day, it's just not realistic. Stop giving people an extremely unrealistic view of the actual military. Create an actual professional front, create a patriotic front, and focus in on protecting America itself and not ideals. And stop catering to the people who, quite frankly, are never going to join the military. And with that right there being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Gear Issue 33, make sure you guys please hit that like button. Please subscribe, share the video. Thursday, I'm going to try to have one more video out on this topic. It's probably going to be kind of a follow-up to this issue with the protests. I'm going to be coming at that from a more military perspective because, you know, you got an economy that's about to get a lot worse. And, of course, I'm going to be focusing more on the immigration aspect on Wednesday's video, where I'm actually going to be discussing what we're actually looking at with the Israeli-Palestinian situation as far as more and more people that are probably going to be brought over here. And, of course, I'm going to be focusing primarily on the crime situation because, as I've been saying on that channel for a long time, which, by the way, there's going to be putting them all back in the short time of prepping playlist, things are about to get a lot dicier than people want to accept. So make sure you guys please go subscribe to John Claymore as well. And with that right there being said, I'm going to close this video out. I'll see you guys later. Expect another video out on Thursday, and hopefully we'll have one more out on Saturday. Either way, though, I'm going to be giving you guys the updates for what's to come, regardless, the full updates, regardless, and probably both of those videos, or at least the Thursday. So that way you guys can kind of see it. And, of course, I'll keep you guys tuned in on Claymore as well. So with that being said, make sure you guys just go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Also, please share the video, and I'll see you guys later.